Hello you fantastic people and welcome back to another Borderlands 3 video. Hope you guys are all doing well. In this one I have my top 5 legendary shotguns in Borderlands 3 for any character for both bossing and mobbing situations. If one weapon is particularly amazing at only one of them, they're not going to make this list. A few will get an honorable mention because they are just that good at the particular thing they do, but for this list they have to be able to do both and they have to be viable slash just as great for all characters. We've got both base game and DLC shotguns in here, so I'll show you guys where to get them from, what boss you want to farm, whether or not they're in the world drop system, as well as gameplay, so you guys can see how much damage they do in both bossing and mobbing situations, so you can compare them side by side. And we're running them all as Flak because I feel like he's the most even spread out. There's no real like gimmicks, it's just pure increased damage for his skill tree. There's no like increased splash damage, there's no increased elemental damage, there's no whatever Zane is, but Flak is just kind of hitting critical hits, hitting damage. It's not really going to amp a particular weapon more than any other weapon. Like I said, I did try and keep this one as even as possible for all characters, but if you guys have a different list, I'd love to hear them in the comment section down below. If I missed any shotguns or if you think it's a different order, let me know down below. I'd love to hear it. But yeah, without further ado, let's jump into the number 1 place, which I'm sure you guys are not surprised about whatsoever, particularly if you've watched any of my videos in the past like 2 to 3 weeks. It is the Hellwalker shotgun from base game. It is absolutely amazing shotgun, and you guys probably already know about it, but it is amazing on all characters. It is a Jacob's shotgun that does only fire damage. It is a Doom, like Doom video game reference. It's amazing. When you shoot it, also makes a guitar riff noise as well, which just makes it even cooler. If you guys want to acquire this one, you can get it from the Splinterlands in base game, of course, Pandora, Splinterlands. You can get it from the originally a rare spawn enemy, now spawns every single time, known as Road Dog. I actually wouldn't recommend going from the dedicated drop spot though. You can much easier acquire it from the world drop system. For example, Tyrene, Gun, the melee one takedown, slaughter shafts, anything like that. You're gonna find it way easier because the world drop rate is extremely high for this weapon and the dedicated drop rate is kind of garbage. But yeah, as you guys are probably already seeing, and you've probably already seen multiple times in my videos and other people's videos, the Hellwalker is absolutely amazing. It destroys all the things bossing and mobbing situations. It really does not matter that this thing is only fire because it rips through any armor, any shields, any boss, enemy, doesn't matter. In this game, doesn't stand a chance. For example, Wotan, it's ridiculous how quickly you can just one-shot each individual phase. It's a ton of fun to use. I have multiple builds that include the Hellwalker, and I literally have a build just for the Hellwalker. If you guys haven't seen them and you guys want to check them out, you're more than welcome to. They're on the channel, or I'll link them in the description for you guys as well. It's a ton of fun running this thing through the melee one takedown. Heck, even the Guardian takedown, a little harder because they are only armored and shield enemies, but it is still a ton of fun. If you guys want to mess around with this shotgun, I would highly recommend. And in second place, actually a bit of a surprise for myself as well, only really made it onto my radar today, it is the Anarchy shotgun from DLC 2. This thing is actually amazing. It was an absolute goat when it came out, and I just never really heard about it since I personally didn't bother going around picking it up again, and I didn't really see it in anybody else's videos. I just figured it kind of dropped off. Not the case at all. This thing absolutely still shreds all the things. You can one-shot bosses with it. I one-shot Traunt today with a Shock Anarchy. I don't even have a max damage one. I believe it goes to 25 pellets, correct me if I'm wrong. I at least have a 20 times pellet one, which is quite good. Anyway, answer you right, anoint. Like I said, shock damage does a ton of damage in the melee one takedown. It was so much fun just one-shotting all the enemies running through there. If you guys have never seen this one before, like I said, it drops in DLC 2. I believe it's only in the world drop system. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section down below, but I'm pretty sure it's only world drop system. I personally, if you want a good DLC 2 farm, I would farm the twins, Tom and Zam, in Heart's Desire in DLC 2. They seem to be the easiest one, particularly for console players, because you can just farm one of the twins and fast travel back to the news station or down yourself, whichever way you want to go about doing it. Jump back into the boss fight and they'll both spawn again. You can do that on a loop and get a ton of world drops from DLC 2 that way. This thing has a ton of different variants. It comes with a ton of different pellet counts. I would highly recommend the highest pellet count you can, particularly for Flak. It's really good for his skill tree, etc. And I also believe they come in every single elemental type, including non-elemental. So you can make a ton of different builds with this thing. It's awesome. Now, the amazing gimmick with this shotgun, which makes it so damn powerful, is essentially it comes with a stacking mechanic. If you get a kill with it, you get 1 stack. You can get 10 stacks total. The other way to do it is by shooting and emptying the mag entirely and letting it automatically reload. It's a TDR, so a TDR chucks and then get the gun back that'll be 1 stack each, so for a kill or a reload automatically. Do not manually reload it, it resets the stacks. But if you get all the way up to 10 stacks, you'll have 300% extra damage, which is ridiculous. Each stack is 30% extra damage, so all the way up there, you will see a serious increase in damage every single time. It's kind of amazing. At maximum stacks, you do a ridiculous amount of damage to all the things in this game. Now today, I actually noticed a weird, I don't know if it's a bug or by design, maybe they changed it. When this gun was released, if you down whilst having stacks in the Anarchy, you lost your stacks and you had to build them back up again for each time you down, which was super annoying, and you really lost a ton of damage by doing that. It actually doesn't do that anymore for me, so let me know if it's happening for you guys. Otherwise, that is an amazing upgrade and is a really easy way to keep this shotgun doing a ton of damage. You do also lose your stacks if you change guns. If you're using this thing, you have to only use the Anarchy. And in at number 3 place, it is the Convergence, the new shotgun from DLC 4. This thing is so much fun. It's one of my favorite shotguns in the game for animation wise. It is so cool how many pellets come out of this thing and then home back in on the enemy and does a ton of damage for both bossing and mobbing situations, of course. Like I said, DLC 4, if you guys want to acquire this one, the dedicated drop spot is the Benedict boss. He's a giant pain to farm though, if I'm going to be honest. This one is a very difficult one to acquire, like pretty much any DLC for item at the moment, unfortunately. But if you guys do manage to get your hands on one, any gameplay you're currently seeing, by the way, is only a ×4 variant. It comes in, I believe, 4 different variations. You can get a ×3, a ×4, a ×6, and a ×8. The ×8's obviously being the increased damage one. You definitely want to try and get one of those, particularly for Flak's skill tree, as well as just pure damage for any other character as well. But any gameplay you're currently seeing, I only have ×4s, and that's how much damage this thing does. So you can do a ton more if you guys manage to get super lucky or just farm like crazy against Benedict. I farm him a ton, and these are the best ones I've got. And like you can see, you honestly don't even need the increased ones unless you just want to purely one-shot all the things. Like I said though, Benedict is a super painful farm, so I wouldn't actually recommend farming them. I'd actually recommend literally farming any other decent world drop source. If you're farming any other boss, the Convergence is also in the world drop system. Again, rare, but you can actually honestly see it just as much from any other boss than you do at Benedict. Honestly, sometimes even more. You can also, by the way, get this gun in any elemental type, including non-elemental, so that's a really good for efficiency against any and all enemies in this game, which is awesome because I love using the shotgun. And in the number 4th place, we have the Lob, which honestly is an OG at this point. It's amazing how this thing has kept up with all the level caps since its buff and does a ton of damage with any and all characters, which is awesome. If you're particularly playing as Flak, maybe the 5th place might switch places with the Lob, but when you're rating them across all characters, I think the Lob is a solid 4th place. In Mayhem 10 though, a huge thing to check when you're farming the Lob is the damage variant you guys get. You can actually get 15k damage difference at Mayhem 10 level 65, which is kind of ridiculous. I believe the highest one I've seen is 63,000 damage, and the lowest one I've seen is a 48k. Let me know if you guys have seen any higher or even lower ones as well, just so we know how big the variance is. If you guys want to farm the Lob for yourself, it is in the world drop system in base game, of course, but if you guys want to farm the dedicated drop spot, you can get this one from Graveward. He only has 3 dedicated drops now, including the Lob, so it's actually a little bit easier to get that from him as well. You can also get this one in all elemental types except non-elemental, of course. But since its original buff, this thing has done so much damage. Even when it got its apparent nerf, it essentially changed it from a 3-shot burst to a singular shot. I actually prefer the singular shot because you can just spam that thing constantly. It's a ton of fun to do. But it's really good against bossing and mobbing situations. The only downfall for it is a Torg shotgun. It's a little orb that floats through the air. So it's a little bit weird. It's a slower projectile. If you don't manage to find Torg projectile speed on your class mod, you may notice in some situations the Lob is kind of difficult as heck to use. If you're only using the Lob, of course, in most situations, if there's a flying guy super far away, you might just switch weapons. But if you're going solely Lob in the melee 1 takedown, you'll find a few tricky spots, which you'll probably want to try and find Torg projectile speed on your class mod to help you out in those situations. And in the number 5th place, it is the Dakota shotgun from DLC 3. It's not even a legendary shotgun, it is a purple shotgun. That's how strong this is. If you particularly want a legendary alternative, I'll tell you that one just in a second, but the Dakota is a fantastic weapon from DLC 3. It is a mission reward. You get it at the very end from the bank vault at the very end of DLC 3. It's an amazing shotgun. It shoots shock and fire bullets. It alternates from it, but doesn't even say it on the card. and it does a ton of damage. It does more damage than pretty much every legendary Jacob shotgun at the moment, and even when it was released, it's just amazing. Would highly recommend you guys picking this one up. You can only get it from DLC 3, and you can only get it from that bank vault. Unfortunately, you can't farm it from the world drop system, so it is a bit of a pain to farm, particularly for console, because you can't just kind of save file farm. But if you guys want a legendary alternative, particularly for console players, to farm, and even from base game, it's actually the tidal wave, which might surprise a lot of people, including myself. I actually found myself a really good roll, and this thing kind of slaps. It's kind of crazy. It surprised me a lot. But if you get a max damage one, you can get, I believe, 25 pellets. I only have a 21 pellet tidal wave, and it is, I think, 2.5 or about 3 times as strong as a god roll stagecoach, which is kind of ridiculous. Of course, the main thing wrong with it does shoot in a wave and is kind of super difficult to shoot at a range, so you want to be up nice and close. You will one dink everything if you hit all those pellets, so it is super worth trying to be really aggressive and being up in everybody's faces. But yeah, I actually surprised myself with it today when I found the really good roll that I did, tried it out, and it's actually really worth farming one if you guys want another Jacob's shotgun to use in this game. Like I said, probably only mobbing situations, so you can get up nice and close. For bossing situations, for example, Grave Ward, he might be a little bit further away. The wave kind of spreads out really quick. They're like the bullet spread wave. But in mobbing situations, you get up nice and close and you'll destroy all the things. The Dakota, though, if you can get it in DLC 3, I would highly recommend it. It's like a full auto shotgun. It does a ton of damage. The ricochet ability is really, really good. You can elemental stack really well because it shoots both shock and fire bullets and alternates randomly. Then you can stack more elementals in your ASUs on top of that. And it shreds all the things. I ran it through the takedown today. I actually ran all of these weapons through the takedown today with the same build to test them all out. And damn, do they do a ton of damage. All of them are very viable weapons to run solely through the melee one takedown by themselves. And they're a ton of fun to use as well, which is awesome. If you guys want the tidal wave, by the way, you can farm that one in base game, Pandora, the droughts from Dump Truck, and actually a new respawnable enemy. I actually almost forgot to mention we have 2 very honorable mentions for this video as well. Number one being the Reflux. It's an amazing shotgun, but it only really works in mobbing situations. It really does trash against bosses, unfortunately, but it's an absolute king when it comes to just room clearing it, chaining all the enemies together and blowing all the things up. So that one's a really good shotgun. The second one is actually the Face Puncher. Now this one, I feel like a lot of people are going to be like, where's the Face Puncher? Why isn't it on this list? So I'm mentioning it in here. The Face Puncher actually has the ability to be the best weapon in the game. It can actually, and I mean literally one-shot every single phase of any enemy in the entire game. But it's not because of the shotgun itself, it's using other things that aren't actually bugged. It's just they do so much ridiculous amounts of damage with their interactions together that I think it's just kind of stupid. That's just my personal opinion. Of course, you can use the shotgun, it does a ton of damage, but it is using Groundbreaker and it is using the ability that Stackbot doesn't reset when you're using the Face Puncher, plus a bunch of other crazy, amazing melee perks that are in the game right now, which makes it kind of a melee weapon rather than actually using it as a shotgun because it's a shotgun. But yeah, that's just why I didn't include it in the list, but it can be pretty much the best weapon in the entire game. But yeah, that is everything I have for the top 5 best legendary shotguns in Borderlands 3. These things are a ton of fun to use, and I'd highly recommend you guys checking them all out. If you guys did find this video helpful or enjoyable, don't forget to smash subscribe down below. I'd really, really appreciate it. I actually found out this month that 90% of people that watch my videos aren't subscribed. So if you guys do enjoy them, feel free to hit that subscribe button. It really does help me out, and it is totally free. If you guys want to help me out even more, you can smash that like button. Feel free to leave a comment down below if you guys have any different shotgun suggestions, if you have a different list, order, etc. I'd love to hear them down below. If you guys want to check out our Twitch, I live stream every day just after I post my YouTube videos. That's always linked down below, or just search CodyMcHugh on Twitch. I also have a Discord with awesome people in it. I also have a Twitter if you want to check out those. They're always linked down below as well. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. I shall see you guys in the next video and a live stream. Till then, adios.